Okay, so I just recorded this video and then I realized that I recorded it on my shitty computer mic, so now we're recording in my headphone mic, and yeah, so if you haven't heard of it, basically protection or man or Jorgen or Jorgen or however it's pronounced, I actually don't know it's Jorgen, but people pronounce it Jorgen, so I'm just going to pronounce it Jorgen for this video because, I don't know. It's probably wrong, but I'm going to pronounce it that way anyway, because, I don't know. But, essentially, him and Stav were banned for teaming in Cranked. Now, on most type games, teaming isn't allowed. So, first of all, I just want to clarify, I'm not taking shots at the mod or the person who got him banned or any of that. I just want to be friends with everyone. Oh, God. Okay, there we go. I just want to be friends with everyone. So, like, please don't hate me for this video if I disagree with you. I want to be friends with everyone, okay? Look. Oh, my God! Okay, there we go. I just want to be friends with everyone. I'm not taking shots at the mod or the person who got them banned. I don't think there was any malicious intent involved with this situation at all. I think there was just misunderstanding of the rules, which, I mean, makes sense. Cranked is a pretty dead game. I don't know why it's suddenly popular. I really don't, honestly. Like, we played it as a joke, me and some of my friends from Kai, and suddenly everyone's playing it, and I'm really confused to why they're playing it, but they are playing it. And it makes sense that when a game suddenly gets popular again, there's going to be some confusion about the rules. And in the game, the rules do say that teams of 2 or more are allowed. So, by that logic, if the Stav and Jorgen were teaming together, they shouldn't be banned, as long as they were teaming alone. I think that's a reasonable statement. I assume most reasonable people would agree. If it says that teams of 2 are the max size, then you shouldn't get banned for being in a team of 2. But the flaw comes in when you look at the website. And this is the thing that's really... Oh god, I just took so much damage. That's really people are criticizing. Or the reason people are doubting that this ban was false. And they're saying, well, on the website, you see, it says that it's a free-for-all game. And yeah, it does. If you look at the website, I mean, actually, if you look at the website, it does indeed say that Cranked is a free-for-all game. And that's on the description page for the Cranked, I believe. And that would be, by that logic, an inconsistency of the statement of the game, because the game description says that Cranked is a free-for-all game, and the game rules, it's rule number 4, by the way, you can look in game, the wording is almost exactly, max team size is 2, or basically the exact wording of the rules. You can go look in the game if you don't believe me about this, but it definitely says it. And yeah, that's basically the summary of the situation. So then I would want to give my opinion on it, obviously, because that's what I do in these videos. So I personally think that it's a false ban. And so here's why. So there's an inconsistency in the rules, right? Or not the rules, but the descriptions of the game. These are both official descriptions of how the game should be played. There's a description that it's a free-for-all game, and there's a description that it says teams of 2 are allowed, but no more. Now, personally, I believe that the rule of these 2 rules, the rulebook in-game should take priority over the rules on the website. Because, well, first of all, the page on the website isn't actually the rules. The page is the description of the game. And that's an important distinction to make, because I feel that the description of the game isn't always the most accurate thing in the world. Am I getting called out? No, okay. The description of the game isn't meant to be, like, perfect. It's never been perfect description of the game. If you look at, like, the Bed Wars description, it says it's fast-paced. And there have certainly been slow-paced Bed Wars games, I can tell you that. The description is supposed to give you a general idea, and yeah, in general, games with max team sizes of 2 generally tend to be free-for-alls. You don't really find many teams. I guess in survival games you find a fair bit of teams of 2, but still the majority of the time it's a free-for-all game. Okay, I'm so bad. Anyway, so since the rules say that, I think it should be implied that the description takes like a lower priority essentially than the rulebook in game, because the rulebook, it's specifically called the rulebook. It's not the description book, it's the rulebook. The website page is a description. Descriptions don't have end-all be-all rules. They just try to generally describe how the game feels to play, so people who are browsing the website will know what they're getting into when they play a certain game. And personally, I think that the in-game rules should take priority over that, and that calls their ban false. And a lot of people agree with me that this is all they need. This is all I need. But there is more that I feel is important to mention. Because the thing is, even if these two rule sets are both there, and you could say that they have equal priority or one has priority over the other, I think that if there's a conflicting rule set, you should default to not punishing them. Because a conflicting rule set is inherently unclear. If some people might think one thing by one source that's official, and another group of people will think a different thing by looking at a different source that's also official, that's an inconsistency in the rules. And it's not proper management of your minigames, really. You're not making it clear what's allowed and what isn't allowed. And by that logic, how could Jorgen and Sav even know that they were supposed to look at the website and not the in-game rules? There's nothing indicating to them that the website takes priority over the game rules. And to them, and this is all I would need to, if you put yourself in their shoes, you can say you're playing Cranked and you look in the rulebook and you see, oh, max team size of 2. Well, that means I can play in a team of 2. You don't expect there to be some sort of inconsistency and have to check the website and then go and clarify it with the mod. That's just stupid. Why would there be anything like that? And, I mean, there is, obviously. And I wouldn't expect that, but it happens to be the case. That's the situation that they're in. There's an inconsistency in the rules. And when there's an inconsistency, since people don't know which to prioritize in terms of like which is the more correct version of the rules, I think you should default to not punishing anyone, because that way the punishment is kind of invalid, or at least unfair, because they don't know. They just couldn't know. It's like, it's not that they don't know, it's that they're incapable of people would be incapable of knowing. Hive isn't doing a good job of presenting the rules in a way that's understandable for players. It's like, imagine if on an English server the rules were suddenly written in French or something. People would be understandably kind of mad when they started getting banned for rules that they couldn't read because they were in a different language than the language of their server. And I think it's unfair to ban people for rules that they inherently wouldn't understand because they're hidden behind this inconsistency and everything. And I mean, that's really all I have to say about the issue. I think it's an inconsistency in the rules, so when there's an inconsistency, you default to not punishing them. And honestly, all I really want to happen is that, 1, they get unbanned, and 2, Hive clarifies this in a way that makes it more clear. Because if both a mod and a player thought that teams of 2 weren't allowed, but the rulebook says that they are allowed, and 2 other players thought they were allowed, there's clearly misunderstanding going on. I think Hive should come out and, I'm not, like, desperate for an apology, but it would be cool if they said, yeah, that's our mistake, we'll clarify the rules. The rules are either no teams, and then fix the rulebook, or teams, and then clarify the website. They should do one of the two. They shouldn't just ignore this situation, unban them, and not say a single thing or change a single thing, because all that's going to happen if you don't change anything is you're just going to get a new generation of players getting banned for teaming, because the mod didn't know that teaming wasn't allowed, and the player thought teaming was allowed. That's the end of the video. If you want to prove me wrong, go ahead in the comment section. Have fun with that. Yeah, that's all. Bye.